Ruben Amorim, in his press conference interview, actually mentioned this once again, and I'll quote: I won't change my philosophy. If INEOS want it changed, you can change the man. This tells you only one thing: stubbornness, adamant. And this stubbornness actually led us to 31 points in 31 games. 8 wins, 16 losses, 7 draws. Staggering. Sackable numbers by a manager who has been in this club since the last year. Pep Guardiola, a manager who's often criticized that he's not adaptable. But he ended up actually adapting in this game. He learned from his mistakes that he made against Amorim last season. And he absolutely tactically outplayed and outclassed us in every department of the game. What does it tell you? This stubbornness is not leading this rebuild anywhere. It was the perfect time for us to beat Man City that came off 2 back-to-back losses against Brighton and Spurs. Everyone was criticizing, everyone was seeing the flaws in Man City's game. And I know our 10s were injured in Mount and Cunha. But this was exactly the perfect opportunity that you had to play Bruno Fernandes, a player that is a designated central attacking midfielder, at the R10 on an L10 position. But you started Ahmad and Mbumo, 2 left-footed players, wingers in fact, playing in that 10 role, that haven't played together in that 10 role ever. And you decided to bench Kobbie Mainoo, who's ready and available to actually play in that pivot. Make things make sense. He had already performed against Man City in the FA Cup final a year back. But no, he sees things differently, as he always mentions. Stubbornness, adamant, tactically outclassed, disaster class by Ruben Amorim, but also he's partially to blame. Partially the players are to blame. Top tier, disastrous performances. And it all starts from those foundational issues that we already have. The midfield pivot. The midfield is non-existent. It proves every word of all Man United fans that have been screaming since years, since months, that we need good midfielders, we need good athletic midfielders. But we did not prioritize them in this window. Neither in this window, we had 8 months to figure this out. And I'm going to talk about this in detail, where we exactly went wrong in the transfer window as well. The midfield is non-existent, and the most simple way to outplay Man United, the recipe is very simple. Overload the midfield and you can easily defeat Man United. Week in, week out. Now Casemiro, yes, he played in the World Cup qualifiers, I understand, but that was against Chile last week. He didn't even feature in the game against Bolivia, the high altitude Bolivia as well. So there was no excuse of fitness that he was not available because of match fitness or he was fatigued. No, he was available. He was available for selection, guys. One of the most informed players, surprisingly, one of the most informed players for Man United in the first 3 games was Casemiro, benched in a big game in the Manchester derby. Can you explain this, Ruben Amorim? This season, Casemiro even worked on his fitness. He even did sprints of 29 to 30 km per hour this season, already in the first 3 games. We needed experience tonight, big time. But Ruben Amorim, you messed it up. Now let's talk about Amad Diallo. If you United fans are going to tell me that he's a generational talent, you are absolutely wrong. I feel sorry for you. Amad Diallo has been out of form not only this season, it's been the same since last season before the Europa League final as well. It's clear as day that he needs to be managed. His game time needs to be managed and he needs to be the understudy to Bryan Mbeumo. Only 2 dribbles attempted and none of them were successful as well. He lacked creativity as well and lost the possession at least 9 times. And no crosses to Seshko, who was absolutely getting starved of service, because I think he was one of the players that actually looked sharp in this game. And you know what happened? He stayed for 90 minutes on the pitch. Can you explain that, Ruben Amorim? While Pep decided to sub off Jeremy Doku, who was one of the most informed players for Man City. I know they were 3-0 ahead, but still, they could have actually went for the jugular. But he's decided to take that substitution call and bring on Savinho. But you took so much time to bring on Xerxes and Casemiro. When? When the game was completely long gone. Now, Kobbie Mainoo came on the pitch, showed at least some tenacity, went past few players as well, won some ground duels as well. I know, not good enough, but at least he showed some character. When will Ruben Amorim understand that he needs to start trusting Kobbie Mainoo in this pivot? Else, we completely lose all control. No structure, neither in our build up play nor in our pressing. Since the first minute, the game was completely frantic. Our pressing was frantic. There was no structure. There was zero structure. There was zero composure. It was like a basketball game. Like players running around, just man marking, just going after each and every player, but there was no structure. And when there is no structure, teams like Man City, who are champion mentality, can absolutely hurt you in transitions. And that's what they did. If you realized that Luke Shaw and DeLigt were losing the physical battle against Haaland and Doku, you chose to substitute them so late. Maguire was available to do that job for you. These two went asleep for the first goal as well. This is where we lose all momentum. We actually had made a decent start. I know, with a wrong structure, with frantic play, but still had a decent start. But we lost it. We completely lost it after conceding the first goal because of lack of IQ, because of lack of game awareness. That's the tactical adaptability that's absolutely missing and that the fans are demanding. You have to make substitutions that make sense, that actually meets the needs of the game currently, and not being adamant for your philosophy. Now, one more statement from his press conference that will actually tell you where his mentality is right now. He's saying that we were doing better, but the results don't show it. I remember with my former club Sporting, we beat City 4-1 without having the same control or the same opportunities as today. So you're telling me that it was all vibes, that all your structure, your 3-4-2-1 and your build-up play and all your Amorim ball was complete vibes. This is not something that fans would want to hear, at least after this performance in your press conference. And why all of a sudden we decided to play high line against this Man City squad? They had Foden, Doku, and even Bernardo Silva. These three players actually thrive in transitions. And we decided to play high line. Amorim had the perfect recipe, like last season, to actually be compact, stay compact, press with a structure, maintain the lines, and actually hit Manchester City in moments, in transitions, in counterattacks. If you really wanted to play the counterattacking system, this was the way to set this up. The best of Sir Alex Ferguson teams, I'm mentioning SAF once again, the best of Sir Alex Ferguson teams actually played compact in most away games, even against the big teams and even against Man City at Etihad, even when Man City were not at their best, because he knew that playing away is not cake. When you maintain your teams defensively and you can actually be in the game for a longer period of time, but we lost all shape, complete control, and this is absolutely unacceptable by Ruben Amorim. Now, this is going to be a heartfelt conversation. No data, no stats, no analysis today in front of you on Ash Talks Football. This is going to be a complete, honest conversation with you fans. Now, Patrick Dogu also looked lost suddenly after having a fantastic preseason with us. It's staggering. We don't understand this. Now, let's talk about the core issues once again. Bruno Fernandes playing in the midfield pivot. Bruno Fernandes did absolutely nothing on the pitch tonight. No creativity, no breaking the lines, no dribbles even attempted, not even successful as well. And in the end, actually lost possession 20 times in this game. Staggering. And that actually led to a lot of the counterattacks and the chaotic situation that Man United had in the midfield. It's absolutely crystal clear that Man United had to prioritize a midfielder in the summer transfer window. And I'll tell you why. We bought Šeško for 80 million. Fine, we prioritized three strikers in Mbeumo, Cunha and Šeško to bring us goals. I know we were lacking goals since last season. I think in the last 2 seasons as well. But you still had the funds to go for another midfielder because you did go for Baliba and you had at least 70 to 80 million ready for you. But you did not. INEOS and Amorim had 8 months since the last January transfer window to figure out a pre-agreement with a midfielder that fits the system, that fits the pivot. We could have actually got 2 good pivot midfielders for that same price. And now, till the January transfer window, we have absolutely no idea how this midfield is going to work. We have the exact same problems like last season. Fans don't realize that Bryan Mbeumo, Amad Diallo, and Nusair Mazraoui all gonna be off to AFCON. And this tournament will take a major chunk of time and we'll have no players left to fit that position. And with Diallo injured as well, we can have more injury crisis during January. We as a squad look very thin right now. And I have the similar criticism since the Fulham game already. We were nil-nil at 52 minutes. Nil-nil at 52 minutes against Fulham after coming off a fantastic first half, right? And you decided, Ruben Amorim, to play two central attacking midfielders in the pivot while Kobbie Mainoo was still on the bench. Ugarte was still on the bench for that matter. No top European team actually plays two central attacking midfielders in their only midfield pivot without any support in the back and any support in the midfield. And again, it's clear as day, not only in this game, in all the games since last season, that we need a better profiling in terms of the right wing back situation as well. I know there's Nusayr Mazraoui, he was decent in the first half but was not consistent because of the reason that he's a fullback. He's not the same Nusayr Mazraoui of Ajax anymore. And I have made a video about the different right wing back options that Man United need. It's in the link here right now. We lack complete creativity down the right because it's absolutely unfair on Mbumo to have all the responsibility to put in crosses and also cut in and create chances and score as well. You need a right wing back to overlap and underlap as well, and to also provide crosses so that we can actually exploit the aerial ability of Benjamin Šeško. And I was mentioning this long back that we had Rasmus Haaland and Zirkzee already in the team. If we would have invested in a midfielder, we still would have had a chance with Rasmus Haaland, because people need to understand Rasmus Haaland. Yes, he did not perform well, but the context is that he did not have any creative outlet or any service so that he can actually score goals. He had only Garnacho and a young Patrick Dorgu on the left, and Ahmad was injured half of the season. I'm not doing revisionism here. What I'm saying is that the transfer window policy did not make any sense. It did not have any clear plan. Even Bayendi's positioning was questionable. He was already on the ground while Haaland was attempting the chip. He did not make himself big in the pitch when he was one-on-one versus Haaland. He went to the ground too soon, and that led to an easy chip for a finish by Haaland. Fair play to Haaland. He had a fantastic game. Not only he was pressing hard and scoring goals, but also was tracking back and was clearing the balls inside their own box as well. Each and every player at Man United is actually playing out of position. This is going to be a long, long season, guys. A long, long season. And after this performance and some of the questionable substitution choices, questionable setup, questionable tactics, and not following the recipe that Amorim followed in the last win against Man City at Etihad, he's not proving himself much here, and I have no reason to back him right now. I want to back my manager to the bones, but he's not giving me any reasons as well. His stubbornness is going to take us nowhere at this point. Now, I don't know if after this performance, INEOS is going to trust Ruben Amorim or not, even in the transfer market. And I do not know what is the synchronization between Ruben Amorim and Christopher Vivell in identifying the right player profiles for Man United. Now, this is making fans anxious, a lot anxious, and have no answers to this performance tonight. If Ruben Amorim gets sacked tonight, or even in the future games, it puts us in a very, very difficult situation. Not only we have the same players from the previous manager, we already have some players that were signed in this window as well. And this exact thing happens every season, that we keep on getting players from previous managers and try to make something out of it. We need to either completely suffer this season and trust this manager and give 3 or 4 seasons and make transfers that actually make the system work. Or if Amorim gets sacked tonight or even in the future games, we need to get a manager who can actually play with this formation. Now, even if you get Glasner, I do not know that he's going to be successful with this team, because it will be again the same story of players playing out of possession even under Glasner. And the criticism by fans is absolutely fair on Ruben Amorim, that if managers like David Moyes could come and adapt so quickly with the squad that they're able to churn out good results, and Thomas Frank, who is a manager that took only few months of preseason to fix Spurs' squad, if Thomas Frank could adapt, so can you, Ruben Amorim. This is where you have played enough games in the Premier League to actually understand the needs of the Premier League. I know this video is long, but this was my heartfelt rant. I wanted to get this out of my system, honestly. Let me know in the comments, where did we go wrong against Man City? I'm not going to talk about Man City's highs because they weren't that great in the game, but I think they played to their best abilities and actually played smart and actually completely outplayed and outclassed us. And I'll give it to them. I'll absolutely give it to Pep Guardiola on this one. Let me know in the comments below, what do you think? Where did we lose this game? And let me know, do you still believe in Ruben Amorim, and where is this rebuild going right now? Is it going the right direction, or we really need to suffer even more for a few more seasons? And let me know, will INEOS still back Amorim after 31 points from 31 games? Thanks for watching, guys. It's a sad day for Man United fans. I'll take a leave, but I'll meet you in all my live streams and watch alongs of the Champions League. Take care. Bye.